For the first time in NASCAR history, the France family just handed over the CEO chair. Let that sink in. A dynasty that has controlled the sport since 1948 just made its boldest move ever, and it could either revive NASCAR or completely redefine it. Hughes Wood just went down. Jim France is stepping aside as CEO, but he's not leaving power. He stays on as chairman. Steve O'Donnell, a 30-year NASCAR insider and current president, is now the new CEO. And Ben Kennedy, yes, still part of the France bloodline, steps into the COO role. Translation? New leadership structure, but not a full regime change. This comes right after major internal shakeups, including the exit of Commissioner Steve Phelps and the fallout from that high-profile antitrust battle involving 23X Ride Tree and Row Motorsports. To understand how big this is, you have to understand NASCAR's DNA. Since the days of Bill France Sr., this sport has been family-run, not just influenced, controlled. From Bill France Jr.'s expansion era to Brian France's controversial modernization push, every decision has stayed in-house, even when things got messy. Like declining ratings, format backlash, or the lawsuit involving Michael Jordan's team, the France family never gave up the wheel. Until now. And it's happening at a critical moment. NASCAR just came off a legal battle, questioning its entire business structure. Fan trust has been shaky, the playoff format has been under fire, and the identity of the sport still evolving. So this isn't just a leadership change, this is NASCAR trying to reset its direction without losing control. Let's break this down the way insiders are looking at it. Steve O'Donnell is not an outsider parachuting in. He's been in the room for decades. He understands the politics, the drivers, the sponsors, the pressure points. That's the safe part of this move. But here's where it gets interesting. He's also the first CEO who isn't named France. That creates a completely different dynamic in decision-making. For years, NASCAR has been criticized for being too insulated, too resistant to outside ideas. O'Donnell represents a hybrid approach, experience inside the system, but potentially more flexibility to challenge it. Now pair that with Ben Kennedy as COO, someone younger, aggressive, and already behind bold schedule changes like bringing back classic tracks and experimenting with new venues. This looks like a two-lane strategy. O'Donnell stabilizes the sport. Kennedy pushes it forward. But here's the risk. If they lean too hard into returning to roots, they risk stalling growth and losing newer fans. If they push too aggressively into innovation, they could alienate the core audience, the exact mistake NASCAR has been trying to recover from for over a decade. And don't forget, the France family still holds ultimate power. So the question becomes, how much freedom does O'Donnell really have? Because if he's just a different face with the same limitations, this won't change much. But if he's empowered to actually reshape strategy formats, fan engagement, competition structure, this could be the most important turning point since the early 2000s TV boom. Reactions are already split. Traditional fans are optimistic, they hear back to roots and think short tracks, authentic racing, less gimmicks. But skeptics, they've heard this before. Media analysts are cautiously intrigued. They respect O'Donnell's reputation, but they're waiting to see real action, not just messaging. And then there's the wild card drivers. If this leadership truly starts listening more to them, that could shift the entire competitive culture inside the garage. O'Donnell and Kennedy strike the perfect balance. They simplify the product, reconnect with hardcore fans, and still expand into new markets. NASCAR stabilizes and maybe even grows again. This becomes a cosmetic change. Same internal control, same controversial decisions, same fan frustration, and the sport continues to struggle with identity in a rapidly changing sports landscape. So here's the real question. Is this the moment NASCAR finally evolves, or just another leadership shuffle with a different name on the door? Drop your take below. Does Steve O'Donnell change the game, or is the France family still calling every shot? Behind the scenes, and if you want real breakdowns like this every week, stay locked into SportsWire USA.